critical to enable you to leverage opportunities for an organisation. They've been quite common in the corporate world, quite common in particularly medium and larger enterprises, increasingly are being used in smaller businesses, and likewise are increasingly being developed in the not-for-profit sector. And when we look at the emerging trends and the challenges that the not-for-profit sector faces, a marketing plan is going to be critical for mitigating those challenges and understanding the opportunities that exist. And great to see also that discussion around developing an overall organisational plan as well. And you're right, Susan, what needs to be undertaken is that consolidation around each of those plans so that your organisation is able to work in one direction. Thank you for the responses there. And great to see, as I mentioned, that yes column increasing each time.
Off we go.
So let's talk about how we understand our customers. And definitely you do want to remove those silos, Susan. Great to see work in that regard. So who are your customers and what needs do you fulfill? And this is where you want to look at both the direct needs that you're fulfilling, but also the indirect needs. If you're a professional services organisation, you're obviously fulfilling a component in your members being able to demonstrate that they are a member of your organisation, but what other needs are you fulfilling? Conversely, what value are you providing through the products and services that you're delivering? And how do those products or services actually fulfill that need? This is where you want to look then at the market segments that are available. So what you want to do is move beyond the broad brush marketing approach. No product or service applies to everyone in the entire country. You want to actually look at what common elements and who your target customers are. And you do that by looking at what their common attributes are. This component tends to be fairly research heavy, particularly looking at primary data. And this is where the Australian Bureau of Statistics can be incredibly useful. The ABS has actually released the CETA index, which can now be integrated into Google Maps. And that allows you to actually map particularly areas of relative disadvantage. If you're an organisation that does a lot of work in areas of need and looking at tackling social disadvantage, ABS data and the CETA index can be a critical tool in understanding where your end clients actually are. Customer surveys can be extremely useful. Where customer surveys work is when you have the ability, the Australian Bureau of Statistics is through the ABS website, abs.gov.au, and that allows you to actually download a lot of data that's available, not just in Australia-wide, but also per local government area and per locality. It allows you to actually drill down into particular localities. The CETA index, and I'll type it in, looks at the relative areas of disadvantage. So it actually involves an index looking at areas that have higher degrees of disadvantage compared to others. When you're looking at particularly funding grants or funding submissions to government, leveraging indexes like CEPA, leveraging ABS data can be critical. You also want to be able to reinforce your knowledge through customer surveys, and where surveys work effectively is when you have that mix of quantitative questions, so simple yes/no questions, or that mix of very agree through to disagree, and that mix of open-ended questions. Typically, if your survey is delivered online, the simpler it is to fill out, the higher the response rate you're going to get. Surveys, you want to make sure that you do have a response rate that is representative of the sample that you're polling. Basically, what you want to be able to do is extrapolate those results to your broader membership or to your broader customer base based on those surveys. Incentives can be a great aspect or great tool to actually encourage people to fill out the survey. Sample percentages tend to depend on the sample size that you're polling, but typically you want to look at least 10%. and that allows you to undertake a fairly broad representative sample. Peer networks can also be useful. So benchmark yourself against other organisations. What customers are they undertaking? What customer segments to attract? And that allows you to look at what approaches they're using and who it is that they're targeting. And also purchasing trends. Emerging trends will impact your customer base and the people that you want to reach. And as I mentioned, remember other stakeholders. So this
Hi everyone, it seems that Alex has actually cut out with his phone at the moment, so we'll just wait for him to come on board. If everyone can hear me, just let me know. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to launch another poll just so by the time Alex comes back online we can actually have something ready for him to go. So this one's really referring to marketing tools. So what marketing tools do you currently use? Now this is a multiple choice question, so going to launch this and you guys can pick as many as you like. So we've got, here we go, website. Do you currently use your website as a marketing tool? Social media, brochures, information sessions, and if you are using information sessions, perhaps you can elaborate a bit on that. Video, which is obviously becoming a lot more common in today's world, and many people are turning to video for a few reasons. Media releases, email campaigns, and then even posters. So maybe you are still using posters outside as well. And we can see some responses come through now. And obviously website is huge for people online. And if you can just keep putting those through, and if you do have any additional comments, please feel free to let us know in the text chat box in the bottom left-hand corner like Lindsay has. So a bit of everything where appropriate, and I think that is the case for many organisations out there, trying to use a mix of both online and offline marketing tools to try and get results is great. And then email campaigns as well, which is also quite high, just as much so as brochures. I'd be interested to know the people who selected brochures, whether or not you're actually speaking about online brochures or maybe hard copy brochures as well when you're actually at trade shows. So let's just give people a little bit more, a few more seconds to go through this.